You think this is funny?
In a cosmic sort of way, yes.
Well, Mr. Funny Man, is this how you get your sick kicks?
What? It's just an ordinary crabby... Oh my goodness! Squidward!
Oh boy. Another saber? So if you're like me, and you peek into the curtains of FGO's future, you'll find that JP has some pretty interesting units. You got Ishtar in space, an ever-evolving Sakura phase, Super Orion, all these other servants that you probably look into the future and clairvoyance on the FGO wiki and go, damn, I really like this unit and their NP. It's common for people to look at these servants that are upcoming and say, gee, I think I'll save for this servant, or wow, my favorite servant gets this cool upgraded card. We've seen that with countless servants so far in the game. Getting a husbando or a waifu and getting this chance to collect their alternatives is the goal for some players. Some players want to look into breaking the meta and say, who's disgustingly broken in this game, and why should I summon for them? Skathak, I always get her name wrong, Merlin, and Waver are usually the most cited characters that conceptualize the 3 cards of the game. You have Merlin with his Buster crits, and frequently called the King of Buster. He's also my personal favorite because I want that damage he brings. He's a fucking memester. His invuln for a turn is always useful. He's just my guy. I grailed him. I 10-10-10'd him because I like the guy. Skathak with her quick loops on certain characters, and she was also our recent NA anniversary unit that most people wanted because probably an exhaustion of Merlin's waivers playing the support category. Also helps that she's very she's waifu material. Waver with his NP gain skills and Noble Phantasm that debuffs and removes a charge from the enemy allows for great support in the ARC category. The big 3, consisting of those 3, are the most cited, and yet recently there's been a shift in the meta. The JP server is celebrating the anniversary with a new servant. So, who is this servant? Artoria Caster. So the whole point of this vid is to show off what she does and what my thoughts are about her. What does she do and the ongoing debate about her? I understand my knowledge on FGO gameplay is lacking in comparison to others. People have played this game way more than me. But I feel like sharing my opinion is useful in creating a variety of perspectives. You don't really want to just get your one source from one person. So always make sure to keep that in mind as I try to give my own take on Artoria Caster. Also enjoy the memes.
Why, I'm...
Team up! What kind of fool do you take me for? He's team up! He's team up! Or team up! I'm team up! Are there any other team up I should know about? Team up! I'm out of here.
So, I don't really like Artoria as much as others do. I mean, I loved her in Fate Stay Night and Fate Zero, but I don't really love her as much as, say, Tamamo or BB. So I'll give that bias right now after seeing another Saber and say she's really tiresome. I mean, for fuck's sake, you can have a Holy Grail Warrior with every Artoria as a servant. You got Artoria Saber, Lancer, Archer, Rider, Assassin, Caster, Berserker. Then you have her as a Foreigner. Then you have her as... And I think the only ones she doesn't have are Avenger. I'm pretty sure. And I'm not saying there's some big riot or... Like, there's a huge hate for Artoria on the community. Although I think some people do dislike her and her morality. But I wish there was a better unit that we got for the anniversary. For example... Skathak and Scotty was our 3rd anniversary, and that was unique. There's only one Skathak. And anniversary 4 was Da Vinci Lily, so that was really cool. So getting another Saberface is like me rolling my eyes and sitting back going Resident Sleeper, because seeing Sabers are just... They're really, they're like white bread. It's like so common. I know that she is the face of the franchise, but oh my goodness, there's so many.
Well, you're still yellow. is yellow.
What? Yeah? Well, it doesn't matter what you call me, because I never want to see you again anyway.
Okay, so what does she do exactly, right? Artoria Caster is a powerful servant to release that is heavily debated on what servant she replaces. So when I brought up the big three earlier...
When something happens, it is always you three?
Believe me, Professor, I've been asking myself the same question for 6 years.
Waver shared his art's throne with a number of servants. You had Tamamo with her stalling methods, an NP gen for the rest of the party along with lowering cooldowns. You had John, Ruler, who helped out in arts teams and can stall as well with her party invulns. And then it felt like the rest, Buster and Quick had two. You only had Merlin in the Buster category, and you only had Quick with Scotty in that category. So Artoria Caster is already in this I wouldn't even call it a kingdom. Y'all people like this damn kingdom analogy. I think this is more of like a council, the council of arts, because she fits into the bust and the arts category, and she almost acts like Merlin, and like a blend of Merlin and Waver. Okay, so her first skill, Charisma of Hope B, is almost the exact same as Merlin. It increases party's attack for 3 turns, and it charges party's NP gauge. Notably, the charge at level 1 is 20%, and then at level 10 it's 30. Having a 30% NP gain is insane. To put it into perspective, Waver brings roughly 20% with his last 2 skills, and Merlin puts his at the base of 20. So, her second skill, which is Protection of Vivian A, charges one ally's NP gauge and increases party's NP gen for 3 turns. What the fuck is this? Not only can she NP gain the whole party to 30% with the first skill, her second skill gives NP gauge to one servant starting at level 1, 1% to 10%, to level 10, 20%. You just gained NP, like 50% NP gain for just breathing and existing. What the fuck is this? Is this Waver? She has the exact same NP gain as Waver, and she also gives NP generate for 3 turns on the entire team, letting them NP faster than other art supports. For 3 turns! It's ridiculous. But the third skill is a little bit more tame, I suppose. So, Caliburn Sword of Selection EX. So what this skill does is she increases one ally's art performance for 3 turns. Okay, that doesn't sound bad. Then increases the damage against threat to humanity for 3 turns. Also, not bad. Gives one person invuln for 1 turn. Okay, so this skill ain't ridiculous, but it is just Merlin's skill, and it's like Tamamo's third skill with art performance for 3 turns. Except it's not giving you a heal; it's just giving you an invuln. So not bad, not bad. So let's see the NP. Probably, you're fair to assume that'll probably be NP charge or health gain or something really, really simple, depending on what we've seen so far, right? Okay, so what is this? Increases party's attack for 3 turns. Okay, removes party debuff. Sounds fair. And then grants party solemn defense buff for n turns, for n times 3 turns. What the fuck does solemn defense even mean, you may ask? It nullifies invuln break and damage, and the n in that statement is based on the charge. She can stack this 5 times at NP5. What? What the fuck is this? If you got her and you had NP gauge 5, which if you're a whale, you'll probably have for sure, you can stack this 5 times. 5 times in the span of 3 turns. Which means if you get her again, if you get the NP gauge back up to 100, you stack again. What? What is this? What is this? It nullifies invuln break and damage. If you loop this, you just invalidate the entirety of invuln break on that third skill. If you had Merlin and you use the invuln skill on his second NP, on his second skill, and then you use his NP, you can't even be fucking touched. Those servants with invuln break don't exist. You can't touch my fucking team, you're trash, get the fuck out of here. That is basically what you're saying with this skill. So, does she replace people? Yes. There's ongoing debates on whether she kills Jean, Waver, Tamamo. It's really hard to say. Like, her skills are a mirror of Merlin, except in the Buster category. She has her place in arts, and she's pretty strong in that category. Her NP gain is the same as Waver's, and is ridiculous. And I've been seeing that a lot of people have been saying that she's really useful with Tamamo, mostly because of the cooldowns on those skills. Honestly, to me, it feels like she puts Jean and Tamamo to shame. I honestly think she is the queen of arts if you want to identify her as such. She is Merlin levels of good for the arts category. So will you still use Tamamo? Yes. She has her place in stalling and is very good of a caster to have. Not counting your personal opinions on Tamamo herself. For me, I love Tamamo, so I think I will use Tamamo compared to Saber, who, God forbid, I will not. I don't feel inclined on using another Saber. It's almost like much of power creep relies on you being aware of the meta. So if you like Tamamo, you're going to use her. If you like Hans, you're going to use him. If you like Mash, you're going to use her. Really, does it matter if Tamamo or John are overshadowed? Not really. Power creep relies on you being into the meta. And if you're into the meta, Artoria Caster is not a servant you want to miss. She makes the game easy because she is a farming servant. And most of the game is, as many people have said, is about farming. So a servant with farming ability is pretty top tier. So in reality, I'm someone that likes waifus or husbandos. I've played the game long enough to amass a good amount of servants that could probably get me quite far into the end game if I wasn't so lazy. I love Merlin. I use Merlin daily. I love Buster because it's so straightforward. Did I summon Merlin because he was meta breaking? Yeah. But I also just liked Merlin as a character. Sometimes I wanted to roll for Scotty because I was aware of the meta. But I didn't. If I grabbed her though, I mean, I wouldn't have used her as much as say Merlin. Does it mean I desire Artoria Caster? No, I don't know, not so much. I don't really like Artoria, and as much as she is cute, I don't feel like going for her. I really am just trying to go for husbandos or waifus that I care about. So how you play this game is up to you. You'll always find people trying to follow the meta, you know, or try and be like min-maxing, and you know, that's great for them. But like, if you don't want to do that, that's purely on you. You're not gonna get shamed for doing so. You know, as long as you respect people's opinion that they like this character and they want to use this character, that's fine. You shouldn't be going around to someone, like, around in the community who like Tamamo and like using her, and then saying, yeah, but Tamamo is inherently inefficient because Artoria Caster exists. Your waifu is trash, and you can't use Tamamo anymore. Get her off your Shaldia and use Artoria Caster. It just doesn't work. Like, these people are... It's really hard to go and be like, yeah, I'm using Artoria Tamamo, and, you know, I'm getting through content fine, and I'm all set. And then people just go in and say, how dare you use Tamamo? Do you know how bad she is? It's on a PvP. There's always a niche for a servant. Tamamo is a stalling unit. She can stall. She's going on the end game. I've NP looped her before, and it's really nice. I like her when I don't use Merlin, and sometimes I bring Merlin and Tamamo, and y'all can get pissed at me for all. I want to play the game and I want to enjoy the game. Some people want to enjoy the game by getting that meta shift. at the end of the day, it's just your choice to how you play the game, and understanding that there is a meta, and you can defy it if you want. You can be cognizant of it and say, yes, that is a meta comp, but it's not a comp I want to run. This isn't a PvP game where you're playing League of Legends and a servant or a champion does something way better than the other champ, and it's hindering your team because you didn't pick that champ. So keep enjoying your FGO experience, and if you want Artoria Caster because you like her or you want that meta servant, go right ahead. If you don't want her, okay. I've seen people wail on servants that are obviously not that efficient. I just wailed on fucking BB, which check out my other video and check out my other video on the channel. BB is not that meta defining. I just love BB, so I'm going to grab BB. I don't give a fuck what anyone else has to say about BB. I want to roll for BB. I don't know. I kind of rambled here with these thoughts, but this was kind of a first time putting out like something related to JP because I don't really play JP. But I wanted to share thoughts because the community seems to be really adamant about it, and hey, I figured may as well. Probably gonna see a lot of people saving for 5th anniversary on FGO, but I'm just gonna sit here with my Merlin and enjoy the busted crits. Good luck to those who wanted to grab Artoria Caster. So, if you enjoy the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more FGO content. If you disagree with me on my thoughts about it, leave a comment and try not to be a dick about it. I'm usually all up for debate about it, and my opinions can change in a discussion. So, yeah. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.
声は遠くに私の影を背